Hi folks, this is Uğur Akıncı. I received an email the other day from a reader who asked, I am 60, can I still be a technical writer? This reminded me of the remarkable story of Mr. James Williamson. I didn't know who he was, but then I listened to this fascinating NPR story about his comeback. First, let's go back to see who he is. Mr. Williamson, you can check the Wikipedia. He was the lead guitar player for the group the Stooges. I didn't know who the Stooges were either. Turns out they were the top punk rock group back in the 70s. They actually invented the whole sound, punk rock, and they were led by Iggy Pop. And I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, because I'm not a punk rock guy. I'm old school. I still love Beatles. But I'm aware of the place of punk rock in the world of rock and roll. The same punk rock sound, I understand, was later on emulated by groups like the Velvet Underground, which I never listened to, and by like Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I listened to those, I will admit. So despite their innovativeness, the revolution they brought in, the band was not successful. They didn't make much money. There was alcohol, drugs involved, the whole scene. And Mr. Williamson left the band in late 70s. After leaving the Stooges, he did something remarkable, one of the many remarkable things in his long career. He enrolled in Cal Poly, California Polytechnical University in San Luis Obispo. And he got a degree in electrical engineering. Very smart man. And after that, he joined a number of high-tech companies, and one of them which was Sony Corporation. For 30 years, he successfully climbed the ladder of corporate advancement, and he ended up as a vice president in Sony Corporation. So this took him all the way to 2009. And in 2008, as you know, we had a dreadful recession. During that time, I understand he received a golden parachute and he retired. And at about the same time, he receives a phone call from his old friend, Iggy Pop. And Iggy says, would you like to come back to the Stooges after 30 years? And listening to this inner voice in him, the Sony vice president who hasn't picked up a guitar for the last 30 years, he says, okay, let's do it. And he locks himself into his house for 6 months, crazing his guitar like crazy to get back up on speed. And their first concert was, I believe, in Brazil in front of 40,000 raving fans, and it was a smashing success. And the band, all now at this point, consisting of guys over 60, never looked back. They are still rocking and rolling, is my understanding. So this is a very, very interesting story. And if you would like to read an in-depth interview, I highly recommend this interview in the clashmusic.com website. So to my reader, I have to say, if Mr. Williamson can go back to punk rock after 60 and perform successfully on stage at 67, what excuse do we have not to do the same? Not only on stage, but being technical writers at 60, 62, 65, 67. It is sitting in a warm, comfortable office with a wonderful machine we call a computer. We are connected to internet. All information is on our fingertips. And we create documents that help people, empower them, help them solve issues and problems. and we get paid for it. So what can be better? So to my reader, I say, if Mr. Williamson can go back on stage after 60, we certainly can write our technical documents after 60 as well. So with that, I leave you in peace. Follow that inner voice inside you, and see you in the next video. Take good care.